Good evening and welcome back. Coaching you for you, family and friends. It's been a tough week, and our topic is pretty fitting this evening as it deals with tough times. I'd like to offer my condolences to anybody who has suffered a loss. I've suffered enough to know in loss how difficult it can be and how oftentimes, people mean well, but don't always know exactly what to say or do in difficult times. So I want to ask you in advance to excuse my voice because I do have severe allergies. I suffer from them and I have some other things going on right now emotionally. Our topic tonight, so shouting out those folks and offering my deepest and sincerest condolences to all. I'd also like to ask for traveling mercies for my family who are now in the process of getting here to handle the business that we have to deal with tomorrow. So I just want to ask that you pray for them and pray, that they will arrive safely here to be with the family at this difficult time. Thank you to all who have reached out, who have said hello, who have let me know that they are with me at this difficult time. Thank you, Shauna. I love you. And I appreciate you. Tonight's topic is about navigating those unexpected things that happen in life. And no matter where you go and what you do, the unexpected is going to visit you. My pastor, whom I admire and respect, Reverend Spencer, always says if you live long enough, it too will show up at your door. And that's a fact. That is a fact. Trouble will show up. Tribulation will show up. Death will show up. Unexpected curveballs will show up. And we don't always know, what to do and how to navigate them when they show up. I can tell you this much. I've lived long enough to deal with a few things. I've had multiple deaths, over 10, in my family over the last 12 years. And I can tell you one thing is certain and sure that through this process, you have to take care of yourself. I posted a meme jokingly that I'm not bragging, but half of my family's not speaking to me. That too will happen from time to time, and it's okay. It's okay. People are going to do what they do. They're going to live the way they live. They're going to do whatever it takes for them. And it's okay. That happens with family and friends. I'm often dismayed and disappointed when I see people talk about the perfection in their family. I haven't known any perfection in mine. I've known some good times, I've known some bad times, I've known some very difficult times, and I've most of all known some loving times, but I haven't known any perfection. So, for those of you who experience that, kudos to you. It's not happening where I live and what I do and the people I deal with. They're just incredibly human and we all make mistakes. And so I just want to thank you for joining me again this evening, for coming back. I appreciate those of you who come back. I appreciate people who know and understand that life is going to happen. Life on life's terms is going to happen. And it's not always going to be comfortable. And right now, I'm in a very uncomfortable situation, suffering loss, as many of you have as well. But I want to tell you some of the things that help me deal with that. The first thing is I've spent the majority of my life dealing with, supporting, and providing services for other people, the majority of my life. Not some of it, not on a campaign trail. It's been my life's work, and I'm proud of it. But there comes a time in everybody's life where you have to step back and take care of the things that take care of you. And that's where I am. That's exactly where I am. As long as I live, I will provide and guide. But I am in a space and place where I have to take care of myself. It's not selfish, it's sanity. And I talk about self care all the time because it's so important. It's so incredibly important that we understand how important it is to take care of us. And others may view it as, oh, that's just a net for a net. Mm-mm. It's a net taking care of herself and her sanity. And I hope that you'll learn to do the same. But through this process and through this curveball, and a curveball is something that's unexpected. I want to tell you that after over 10 people dying, that was direct family, associated family, in law family, um, nieces, nephews, brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers and husbands and friends, that death is going to happen. Doesn't mean it's going to be okay. It just means it's going to happen. And in dealing with these unexpected, you're never, I've never, no matter what the situation has been or is going to be, I've never been prepared for death. Never. And if some of you know how to do it, help me out and let me know, because I've never been prepared and I've lost many. Excuse me. Death is something that you cannot prepare for. Of course, we have to accept it. It's a natural part of life, but it's not something you can prepare for. It's not something that's going to be okay. People say, oh, my goodness, you're still grieving? Well, yeah, I'm still grieving, and I'm grieving again. The loss of a sibling, the fourth one. Death does not stop coming. I don't care who you are and what you do. It doesn't stop coming. And some people are able to lose their parents and function as if nothing has happened. I'm not one of those people. Some people are able to lose their spouses and function as if nothing's happened. I'm not one of those people. I have to take leave and take time to grieve. That's who I am. That's what I do. And that's what works for me. But through the process of all of this, these unexpected curveballs, whether you've lost somebody to death, whether you've lost a relationship, you're divorced, you're no longer connected to people you love, people, places, and things that you love. A loss is a loss, and some are more difficult than others. And in dealing with that, self care is primary. Don't mix or miss the message. And nobody gets to tell us at any time when and how we grieve. Nobody. In the past, I've been able to, accept visitors and deal with people and go through the motions. This time, I wasn't able to do that. Excuse me, allergies. And I appreciate the people who understand that. Sometimes, what I want you to know, when you get a curveball, you have to just sit back and be still. And here's what I want the Coaching You For You family to know. When people are grieving the loss, it is not their responsibility to manage anything or anybody else through their loss. And you can look for some additional information on that coming up soon, because if you've lost people or places or things, you know that loss is real and the grieving process is important. And the grieving process does not include those left behind and trying to survive, does not include them taking care of you. It doesn't include them feeding you. It doesn't include them telling you how to help them. When people are grieving, do what you can do. And what you can't do, leave it alone. The worst thing you can do is call somebody up who has lost a husband, a wife, a brother, a sister, a sibling, and say, I know how you feel. If you haven't lost somebody or had that experience, you absolutely do not. You don't, and respect that. And so moving forward, some of the things that I have to do when I'm grieving is just be quiet and be still. And that's what's happening right now. I'm being quiet. I'm being still. I'm not taking care of anything or anybody else during this period. I'm taking care of me. And for those of you who don't understand that, when you get this experience, 10 or 11 people down, give me a call. We can talk about it. But grief is real. And when people lose people that they love, respect that. Grief is real. Grief is real. Keep your stuff, check your stuff at the door. People who are grieving don't have time to take care of your attitude, your bad behavior, and your misunderstandings. We just don't. This is not the time for it. And so it happens to everybody. And I'm not suggesting that that is what has happened this time, but it has in fact happened in the past. And so I just want you to know that the path to recovery or the path to firmer ground through grief is taking care of yourself. But one of the things that happened, to me over and over and over again in this, grieving process is that I was redirected. I was redirected every single time because I'm going to tell you something. If you don't know who your friends are, when you're in tribulation, you will find out. You can ignore it, but you will find out. You will find out because, we can talk about it, but we've got to be about it. When our friends and loved ones are in tribulation, show up. If they don't want visitors, call. Don't ask what they need, just provide. Anybody who disagrees with me, speak now and forever hold your peace because grieving is tough. But one of the things that God has always done for me in these curveballs during death, during difficult times on the job, and I got a story for you about that too. I just had to work with an attorney to get to the point where, we wouldn't all get sued. But that story is here and it's coming about when you're on a job and people are fighting and misbehaving unnecessarily. How you deal with that. I want to teach you how to deal with microaggressions. I want to teach you how to work on a job where people are fighting you constantly and you still have work to do and you do it. So, in every roadblock, in death, in loss, in failed relationships with friends and people I loved, they weren't roadblocks, they were stepping stones. Yeah, they were stepping stones. And even now, this tribulation is a stepping stone for me because it's giving me an alternate route. It's helping me embrace detours. I didn't plan for this. I said earlier, you can't plan for it. I didn't plan for it. Life happens. And when life happens, we have to show up and we have to deal with it on its own terms, no matter what we think or feel. And so sometimes when those roadblocks are in the way, instead of looking at them as roadblocks, I've learned to look at them as stepping stones, things that are preparing me, for something different, allowing God to lovingly direct me and help me through things that I don't understand. When people ask me how I'm doing today, I say, I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing anything at all. God is carrying me because I can't carry this load anymore. And I can't. And sometimes we're in situations where we learn that we can't always carry the load and we don't always have to. Share that when and where you can because God is moving you towards something else. He's moving you in a direction to learn, to grow, and to practice more patience. Because I can tell you one thing's for certain, again, You will learn some patience when you're in these types of tribulation. Yeah. Family is everything. And they can almost be a little bit too much to carry, too. Remember that. For all you perfect people out there who have not had any tribulation, with family, I want you to learn that tribulation is real and it happens, especially during difficult times. Nobody acts worse. People misbehave the most in three situations, as I've learned: during funerals, weddings, and where money is involved. Yeah, it just somehow, forces people to misbehave. But even as I'm being redirected and I have these stepping stones, God is also equipping me. Thank God we cannot see ahead. Can you imagine the turmoil and the discontent we would suffer if we could see everything in advance? I don't want to see everything in advance. Mm-mm. Pace me, God, please. I've learned that it's difficult to deal with, what stumbles upon me. I'm not stumbling behind what's behind me, and I'm not stumbling behind what's not here. Leave it where it is back there. If it's not here yet, I'm not dealing with it. That's how I surprise. So I never know, what's coming around the next bend, and neither do you. I don't want to know. I just want to be prepared in every way I can and being prayed up and meditating and practicing self care. Those are the things I want to do. I don't want to be in perfection. I don't know what that is. I don't want to be there. I don't want to look at it. I don't want to think about it. I just want to prepare myself to deal with what's right in front of me right now. And, God has helped me with that. He's helped me to deal, with some of these detours, and He's equipped me to move forward. Don't want you to miss that, even in grief. He's equipping me to move forward. He's equipping me. Yeah, every roadblock is not meant to stop you. Those detours are meant to prepare you and show you alternate routes, alternate possibilities, things that you can do different. If I haven't learned anything else, I've learned how to do some things different. I've learned patience. He's equipped me with that, and I am grateful, God. I'm grateful. Would I rather people not die? Of course. Would I rather relationships not fail? Of course. Would I rather friendships not fail? Absolutely. Of course. But it's going to happen. There's a season and a reason. I'm not always comfortable with it, but I'm grateful that I recognize the detours as stepping stones. And I know unequivocally and without reservation that God is equipping me to move forward. The personal growth that has come with some of the pain is not measurable. I couldn't give you a measurement on it because that growth has been so great. Death, failed friendships, failed relationship, um, disappointments, tough jobs, tough people, and tough times. You've equipped me. Thank you. You've equipped me. I can learn from anybody, every time, anywhere, but I want to learn from people who have experience. Share your thoughts with me. It's how we grow. hmm But give me and share your experience. It's what you know, and it's really how I learn because I'm open to learning. And so, through every one of the trials, through every one of the tribulations, through every one of the difficult people, God has equipped me, and I'm grateful for it. But the most important thing out of all of this, before I close, I'm Annette Latigue. I'm your host here at Coaching You For You. And before I close, whew, the biggest thing through all of this tribulation, all of the failure, all of the highs and the lows. My biggest lesson has been learning to observe me, doing my own self inventory when I'm in a bad situation, how I got there, what I can do about it, what it takes to move forward from it. And that's what I want you to know. Obstacles, detours are stepping stones. God will always equip you. I choose God. Whoever you choose is all right with me, but I choose God. He will always equip you. And if you're open and you're willing to do a self inventory, you can find out what you can do better from the experience, what you can learn. Here's what I learned. Here's what I know. Stepping stones, equipping me, observing me. That's what I've learned. And I know there's no perfection. And for those of you who have family perfection, when the call is over, please, hit me up and share some of that with me. I'd like to experience it vicariously through you because in real life, I haven't. And real life is what happens. Real life is what's going to continue to happen. And all I have to do is take it one day at a time and trust and believe in reality. And reality is curveballs come. Curveballs are unexpected and they come from everywhere: family, friends, foes, jobs, whatever you're doing, they're going to come. The curveball is going to come. Will you open your heart and mind to be equipped for it? Maybe you won't, but I promise you that if you trust in and believe in something greater than you, God will equip you. He will prepare you. He will help you learn to take a look at you. Hey, I'm Annette. I want to thank you again for being here with me this evening. Curveballs happen to everybody, and I don't care how great people look, and I don't care, how great they pretend that things are. Whatever they choose, and everything should be all right with you. You have to know where you are in it and what you can do about it. And that's what's going to make the difference. Everything is not always the way it appears to be. It's not. People aren't always who they appear to be. They're not. But we can't change people. We can change places and we can change things, but we cannot change people. So, go ahead and live your life. Do what you need to do, to be okay. Practice self care. If people think you're being selfish and it's all about you, that's okay. You they don't have to like what you do, and you don't have to care what they think. Take that and run with it. And you can quote me on that. My name is Annette. I am your host here at Coaching You For You. I want to thank you again for joining me. I said the story about that job is coming, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. You want to talk about helping people and working with people? Let me talk to you a little bit about what happens when you're in charge, when you are the lead and you do everything you can and it's still not enough. Sound like a family to you? Yeah, it's called a work family. Talk to you soon. Good night.